I just had to switch my microphone, my speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I was getting Facebook going and all the things.
Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm super excited for today. Did you know that it is your last chance to become a script master in our market center? Today is your last chance to get entered into the finals, which are happening 2 weeks from today on June 30th at 11 a.m. We've got one seat remaining. Who's it gonna be? So I'm really excited to have that conversation today. Give you guys a heads up. We're gonna be diving into that. Amy, it's on a slide. Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. Well, let's dive in this morning. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, let me rearrange my screen so I can see all of your pretty faces or your pretty avatars.
Anna, I don't think we can hear you.
I can hear Anna.
Oh, so it's me that can't hear Anna.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's just you. I'm just kidding. Unless there's somebody else, but I can hear fine.
Dun, dun, dun. Heidi can hear me. Tamara can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yay. Look at that. We're going to figure out the Zoom thing before it like goes away. All right. Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. It is June 16th. You know, we are just shy of the halfway point of the year, just shy of midpoint for the year. Crazy how quickly 2021 is moving along. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said, I'm already setting up for 2022. And it kind of blew my mind that it was almost 2022. Can you imagine that? And here we go. It's been a fun year, and I'm really excited to see all of the neat things that are going to be happening in our business over the next couple of months and weeks as we transition back to more, I don't know if the right word is normalcy. It doesn't feel like the right word, but as we transition into yet another way of going about our lives and our business. So I'm so excited for that piece. Let's start our meeting today by talking about who we are. And I have asked the very incredible Miss Amy Skillen, our agent services coordinator and market center tech trainer, to walk us through our MVVBP this morning. So Amy, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I want to start by sharing a quick story. Almost 2 years ago, when I started the interview process with Anna, I remember coming into the market center and seeing all these cool words on the walls and thinking, oh, that's so nice. It's great when companies say that they do something and they want it to look good. And I came in really with my own ideas of what these things meant. And so as we went through the interview process, I started to learn a little bit more about Keller Williams and what Keller Williams was about. And then I started working here, and it was really a light bulb moment that the things that Keller Williams believes in, our MVVBP, are like really real. And what I mean by that is that they're not words on a wall. They are words that we truly live by, and they are words that we really take to heart, and they really truly mean something to the company. And so I think that was a really big aha moment for me. So anyway, I wanted to start with that because I think it's just I think that we all come in with a little bit of that doubt. And so for all of you who are new and starting to build your business with Keller Williams, I want you to know that these words are true and hold value for all of us in the company. So our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And I want to focus on the legacies for just a minute. As I get older, I that kind of feels more and more important. And as I watch my children get older, that feels more and more important. And so I think KW gives us really an amazing opportunity to build that legacy. So we can go on to the next one. Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. So we want all of our people that we support and help grow their business. We want to be your real estate company of choice. We want to be your office of choice, but we also want your customers to feel the same way. Our values are God, family, then business. And so I'll share another very quick story. I don't remember the exact circumstance, but I needed to take an afternoon off to take care of something with one of my children. And I was a little stressed about asking for that because that's just not who I am. I try to schedule my life around work, not my work around my life. And I remember going to Anna and asking her for that particular afternoon. And it was never a question, right? It was never a why, or can you change that, or can you do something different? It was an absolutely no problem. And so again, that was to me another example of how our MVVBP is really a thing, and it's really important, and it really guides us in how we live and how we conduct business. Our beliefs are win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, success, results through people. And I think that the one that I want to call out today is communication. Seek first to understand. I think we sometimes get into that mindset of how can the communication have been more clear? Or how could we have done this? Or how come the other person didn't do that or follow the directions or instructions or whatever that is? Instead of looking at it from the perspective of how could I have been more clear in my communication? Or how could I have expressed that in a better way to to create that conversation where we're both on the same page. So I think communication is one of the most important things that we have, and one of the most misunderstood things that we have, right? We have to learn how other people communicate and understand us, and it starts with us. So next, perspective. We are a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability. And to this end, I just want to say to all of you that we have a really amazing team in this office. And we are here to help you build your business, and we are here to help you succeed. So at any time, if you need something, you just need to ask, because we'll do what we can to support you and make sure that you succeed too. So that's it.
I keep doing this, talking on mute. Hey, fantastic job, Amy. Thank you so much for sharing. I figured you guys could probably use a break from hearing my perspective on our MVVBP. Next week, Amy, you get to do it without the slides.
Sounds good.
It'll be fun, I promise. It'll be fun, I promise. So, let me see here. Do we have Patrick here yet? I don't think so. I don't see him in here. Okay. Patrick, we'll get back to you. Are you guys ready for this? The most fun you can have on a Zoom team meeting, as evidenced by how much fun we've had the last few weeks inside of our amazing script championship. I've got to tell you, I am so proud to be in business with all of you guys. And to have the opportunity to witness how and where you've grown, and your strength and bravery and stepping forward to practice your objection handlers and your scripting skills in front of our group, right? It's not for the faint of heart, and y'all aren't faint of heart either, because you're jumping right in. So here we go. This is your last chance to make it to the finals, and I want to throw us some sprinkles on this cake. We got word last week that they are postponing the announcement of mega camp activities because Austin is opening up, and they are planning on having some in-person mega camp invitees. I have zero ideas as to how many seats will be available, and if they'll be available generally, or if you'll get an exclusive invitation. So here's what I want to do, because I'm in this weird gray area where I don't exactly know what I can offer. The VIP Mega Camp experience that will be awarded as the grand prize on the 30th, as we get through our finales, may have an in-person mega camp component to it. So you may have the opportunity to choose between an in-person and a virtual experience, if that's available. So who else is excited to like travel and go see people? What? Yay! Yay! So I'm really excited to bring that up. We've got one seat left for the finals, and we're going to fill that seat today. You guys know the rules. You've been here before, right? You're going to go head to head I'm going to give each person an objection to handle. You'll have 2 minutes to handle that objection. We'll then vote on who handled it the best. And they will have the opportunity to go into the finals on June 30th. So who's our first contender today? Whose hat is going in the ring? I know we've got some folks in here who have participated and are not yet in the finals. So Ismail, Tamara.
I've participated like 4 times and I'm not in the finals. So that's cool.
That just means you have to participate again.
I know,
means you
so
show up for
who's-
script practice on Wednesdays at 10.
Well, lucky for you, I'm hosting it next Wednesday because somebody couldn't be here. So thank you for that. Who wants to script practice with, or who wants to, I'll be one. Who else
Okay.
wants?
All right. Who's going head to head with Brittany? Jimmy wants to, I can see it.
He had his first day of script practice today.
Oh, so he's ready to go.
I was going to say that.
Oh, you guys are mean.
Ismail. Is Ismail in the finals yet?
I think he's not.
He should be.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Here's his chance.
yep.
Thank you for reaching my voicemail. Please leave a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, let's go.
That was pretty
All
good.
right. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Brittany, if you don't mind, since we just peer pressured Ismail into it, I'm going to allow
For the
him.
second time in a row for the record, but please proceed.
You get to choose heads or tails.
Heads. Doesn't actually have a smiley face on it, but we know the purple side is heads. Post-it side is tails. Ismail, what's it going to be? Go ahead and call it.
I will happily learn from Brittany.
Well, you didn't call it yet. Are you heads or tails? Let me flip again.
I'm sorry, I'm multitasking here. Head.
Heads, all right. It is heads. So you're going to allow Brittany to go first?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see. Brittany,
Anna.
your seller wants to price their home for $700,000, but you know it's only worth $550,000. What do you say?
Oh, this is actually happening. So cool. Okay, Mr. Seller, I understand that you want to list your house for 700, and kind of as we've gone through, the comparable sales in the neighborhood are really supporting at the highest 550. What are your thoughts around that?
I really think we can get 7. I need 7 to move to the new house. I think we can get 7.
Okay, so if we weren't able to get 7, would you want to say no to your new house?
Well, no, I wouldn't necessarily want to say no to the new house.
Okay, so if we were to price it at 7 and end up not getting any offers, and 6 months from now you still weren't in your new home, how would you feel?
Well, the market's so hot right now. I mean, I think we'd get offers at 7, but if we didn't, and I wasn't moving to the new house, I mean, we really need to move.
Okay, I understand. And yeah, the market is hot, and we're seeing things, that we've never seen before. And, I'm always happy to try to see what the market will give us. And at the same time, what we know is that an overpriced home will tend to sell for anywhere from 12 to 20% below what it should have. Not 12 to 20% below what we list at, but 12 to 20% below what it should have sold at. Does that sound like, you know, something that you would be willing to risk if we were to list it at 700?
Selling for that much below? No, I don't think I'm willing to risk that.
Okay. So one other thing, just to kind of give you a little bit of peace of mind, is that the market is never going to let us undersell a house. So if we list it at 550 and it's worth more than 550, it will go for more than 550. If we list it too high, though, like I said, we risk that 12 to 20% below value. So would you want to just try out the market at 550 and see if we can drive more offers and get, you know, get a bidding war going? That's our best bet to get the highest amount in your pocket as possible. Does that sound like a plan?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Awesome. And we're going to do it at 7%. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks.
All right. That was an impressive conversation around pricing.
That's my favorite one to have.
Well, Ismail, your seller wants to price the home for $700,000, but you know it's worth $550,000. What do you say?
And I can totally appreciate that. Now, remind me, where are you moving after this house is sold?
Yeah, well, we've got our new builds in Castle Pines we're getting ready to move into.
Castle Pine, right on. Would you remind me how much the house sold for?
Our new build?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be closing at just shy of 1 million.
Okay. So, Anna, let me ask you this. Say if you were looking for two homes, they're literally the same from a comparison standpoint. One is going for 1 million, the other one is going for 1.2 million. Which one will you be going for?
Well, I mean, if they're the same homes, I would buy the one for $1 million.
Which one do you think all the buyers out there will be going for?
Well, we'd probably all likely be going for the $1 million home.
See, the problem that I'm having here when I start looking into the comps is that while I do hear your concern for the $700,000, the fact here is that you will be helping every homes around you to sell versus selling yours. And I don't think this is something that you're interested in, is it?
Helping other people's homes sell? No, I want to sell my home.
So looking at the current comps that we have, the homes in this neighborhood seems to be going for around this price point, which is in the 560,000. It's a hot market, I hear you. And I know you want to have 700,000, but the very last thing I want you to do is to put your house on the market for the next 6 months, just opening your door for everybody to walk in and you to have no offer at the end of the day. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and have a very competitive offer here, something that will be able to compete with all the homes around so that we can get you to Castle Rock as soon as possible. Would that be something you might be open to?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so I'll be in the area today at 6 p.m. Will that work?
Yes, that works.
See you then.
Boom.
I love that script.
I love that script too. Here's the question. How does everybody at home feel about that script? You guys now get your chance to vote. Is it Britt or is it Ismail?
Jimmy voted for me, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Oh, he actually did. Yep.
That's not just something we were saying. Great.
It was, but I spoke it into being. So there we are.
No pressure, no pressure, Jimmy.
I'll go ahead and vote for Brit because I don't want to go against Kelly or Ricky. How about that?
Dude, it was painful for me to vote for you because I want no part of you. I figure I can beat Britt. I got no chance to beat Ismail.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
So Brittany, you said this is something real life that you're going through right now. And surprisingly enough, it is a conversation that we're having in this hot market because people think it's like pie in the sky.
Yep. Well, and there's certain sellers that can't have a realistic conversation. I have the privilege of having one of those right now, just while we're waiting for the votes. And one of my favorite conversations to have with them too is the I don't know if you guys how many of you guys have heard this one, but it's about the gallon of milk conversation. And if you go to the grocery store, and you could go to the worst grocery store in the world every single week and buy a 250 gallon of milk, and then you drive down the street one day and you see this amazing billboard that has this brand new grocery store and they have gallons of milk for $10. Are you going to buy that one for $10, or are you going to buy the one for $2.50? Probably still the one for $2.50. You could see the most amazing, and you kind of go down this whole path with the story. It's a more, in-depth script, obviously, but the point of the point of it is that no matter how great the marketing or how great the packaging, if it's, all other things being equal and it's the same product, no one's going to overpay for something just because the marketing is great. So when you get that pressure from the sellers, well, you're just not doing your job. Well, you're just not marketing it properly. Well, you're just not reaching the right audience. And it's, the conversation is, it's my job to interpret the market because I certainly don't make the market. So why don't you, I think I'm the right person to sell your house. Are you the right seller to sell your house? I mean, how bold you want to go with it, but
I love that. Well, and that's the truth, right? No amount of marketing will sell a $10 gallon of milk.
Yep.
Right. Where does your seller want to be? Do they want to be in the competition, or do they want to be helping other homes sell? So Amy, where are we at?
We have a winner. We do. And the winner is dun, 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 Ismael.
Great. The benefit of being competitive. So who are the finalists again?
Ismael,
Yay!
you've got a seat at the finals, my friend, going up against people who have already said they're afraid to be up against you. So I'm excited. Congratulations on your hard work, your dedication, your script practice. This is where we get to play in a really safe and fun environment. And this was also the last time we get to hear these familiar objection handlers. So we'll be coming with some new ones for the finals. That will be on the 30th at 11 a.m. Right here on your Zoom team meeting. I'm so excited. Congratulations for you, Ismail. Congratulations to all of the finalists. Brittany, better luck next round.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say also, you forgot to mention that there was the secret bonus for the winner this week, that he gets to come in and do script practice and lead gen with us every day from Tuesday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 11. So we're really excited to see you tomorrow, Ismail.
I'm so thrilled.
I love that. You won the bonus prize. You guys are awesome. Way to play as a team, right? That sounds kind of familiar. I think it's one of those T's in the Y4C2 T's, right? Teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. This is where we get to practice before we play, because that's what professionals do. And you signed up to be a professional. So come practice with us so that you're playing in the pros. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you guys. And obviously next week, it's your opportunity for that VIP Mega Camp experience. Not next week, I'm sorry, the week after, the 30th is the opportunity in the finals for the VIP Mega Camp experience. So definitely check that out. We've been told that on next Monday, we will actually have details around what's going to really happen for Mega Camp. We know that there will be both an in-person and a virtual Mega Camp experience. How open that in-person experience is yet to be determined. Currently, it's just by invitation only. And I know that they're looking to push the capacity. Austin is actively changing their guidelines and regulations. So they're working with the city of Austin to see how many people they can bring in and bring to Austin in August, because that's where you want to go in August. Not really, but yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hey, these are some things that are coming up around here. Today, our very own Market Center Tech Trainer is teaching a class. The fortune is in the follow-up. And then we've got an awesome event tomorrow, which I'm going to say is a tech event, but it's really just a great business event. Amy, do you want to talk about both of these?
Yeah, sure. So, so the class that I'm teaching today is from 1:30 to 2. It's called The Fortune is in the Follow-Up. And really, we're going to be talking about smart plans and how we can set our people up on the right smart plans and how to use triggers so that you can put your leads into the right smart plans and so forth. So it's going to be a really great class. And then tomorrow is Evolve. And Evolve is pretty much a one-day summit focusing on the theme of agent leaders, trainers, and people who are learning and want to learn how to up their skills, their tools, and their resources so that you can be ready for whatever the new normal is looking like. So we are going to have some really amazing presenters. We're going to have some different regional tech trainers. And we're also going to have some folks from KWRI, Jay Papazon, Jason Abrams, Kelly Cody. So it is a do not miss. The website, I'll post it in just a minute in the chat, but it's basically a Facebook event. So the website will take you directly into the Facebook event. We're going to have some breakout rooms. I did post the schedule for tomorrow, so go check it out on our Facebook page. So don't miss this.
Awesome event. Some of the speakers and panelists are just like, you want to hear their story, right? Like Tyler Shields, who's building a gigantic business with like 35-cent leads from command. It's crazy. So definitely some do not miss speakers and panelists tomorrow. And you said that's like a Facebook Live event?
Yeah, it is. So the website will take you into the Facebook Live event, and from there, they're going to have breakout rooms and all kinds of cool stuff. So you don't have to register. Show up.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, this Friday, we are closed in recognition of Juneteenth. This is our second annual Juneteenth recognition as a company, and something that more and more organizations are doing as we look at our quest towards increasing our awareness around diversity, equity, and inclusion here at Keller Williams and in our offices. So we won't see you on Friday. Yet we'll all be available, and the Market Center is obviously open for you to come in and do your business. Have your key card with you. This is very, very fun. I don't think Patrick hopped on and joined us today. So I will share for him anyhow. We've added a couple of really great monthly recurring events for you guys to take advantage of on your calendar. And the first is our career nights. Did you know that the next generation of real estate agents probably already lives in your database? You already know them. You know, the top 5 reasons people get into real estate is because they've had an experience with a real estate agent, and it either went really well or not so well, and they thought, oh, I could do better than that. So they're said, okay, I want to go and do this, right? Or it went really well, and they're like, oh, that agent enjoys their job. That looks like a lot of fun. I can do that, right? So they had that great real estate experience. Maybe they come from a real estate family, right? Mom or dad, or somebody's been in real estate. Maybe they're an investor. And they thought, well, since I'm already this involved in real estate, maybe I should just get my real estate license. Sometimes, and this happens from time to time. Sometimes we just kind of don't like what we do, and we're looking for something new. And then we see real estate agents in action, right? We're watching, HGTV or something like that. We're like, man, that looks like a really powerful industry. So we make the change. There's so many different reasons why people get into real estate. How many of those people do you know? Right? And could this be your opportunity? Remember, Keller Williams grows by word of mouth. And as a thank you for helping us grow, you're eligible to earn that profit share, grow your downline, earn your unfair share. So is this an opportunity for you to help somebody who you already know, like, and trust change their life like your life changed when you got into real estate? Think about that and invite them to one of our career night events. We're going to be covering a handful of things like what does a career in real estate look like? How do I get started? What does it look like to partner with Keller Williams once I'm in real estate? Now, all of those topics come up. And every third Thursday each month at 6 p.m. we'll be right here in the office for this career fair. So you can invite your friends or your guests. Our first one back in person is tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday night at 6 p.m. If that's too short of notice, and you then feel free to invite your friends, family, someone from your database to next month, the third Thursday in July. Sometimes when we're getting into real estate, we're interested in the nitty gritty, right? What does this look like? I've got to go to school. How much does it cost? Sometimes we just want to get to know people and get to know the environment. And honestly, we all don't get to spend enough time together. So our friend and partner, Mr. Patrick Langhans with Guild Mortgage, is going to be hosting a monthly happy hour. That's for you to come and network with everybody here in the office, and to also have the opportunity to bring a guest should you choose to. So those are going to end up being on the first Thursday of every month. The first one will likely be here in July. We're working out some details here, but the first Thursday of every month. So keep those in mind as some opportunities for you to be able to connect with your colleagues and also grow your unfair share by introducing people to Keller Williams. So career nights, first one's tomorrow, and then we're back on the third Thursday of July. Just a reminder, if you're doing any telephone prospecting, otherwise known as telemarketing, please follow the TCPA guidelines. You can find more rules and information in our office policy manual by going to Google and looking up the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, and always, always, always scrub your list against the do not call list, both locally and nationally. That's what I got for you guys today. We are going to take a moment here and transition onto there we go, onto another screen. If you didn't know, Gary Keller hosts a series on KW Connect. Every couple of weeks, he's releasing a new session. They call it Life. Live Your Future Every Day, right? Life series with Gary Keller. I promise these are phenomenal conversations. They're anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes long. So we've got a really good one for you today that's going to just fit into our last few minutes of the team meeting. It's the 7 habits of highly successful agents. Let me go ahead and pull this up here, and we're going to let Gary finish it up. Or at least we would if I can find it really quick. Uh-oh. Do, 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 do. Here it is.
right, guys. So welcome to another edition of Lifeline. I got my crazy partners with me. Hello, guys.
How are you?
Hey.
So we're on to topic number 2, and that is the habits of success, right? So number 1 habit, we know what it is. Everybody write it down, and then we're going to see if we're all correct. I'm writing mine down. Okay, I'm gonna hold mine up, see if you give me a thumbs up or not.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Time block.
I had time block lead gen, but for this group.
That's
so.
good. We'll take it. Take it.
Discipline.
No, that's not it.
I knew it. Obviously not.
Well,
but time blocking is hard, Gary.
Remember.
But see, you got to have discipline to do time blocking. You can't just go all time block today.
So let's connect this, right? So discipline is a false habit. So you're not incorrect, by the way, but the end goal is time blocking. And the question is, how, if I don't already have the habit, how do I get that? Well, that would be discipline. So we're going to give you bonus points, but I think the habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, discipline isn't a habit. Discipline is a false habit, right? It's if I don't do it habitually, how do I bring discipline to my life until I do it habitually? And that's the relationship of discipline to habit. And the singular habit around success professionally, particularly our industry, real estate, time block. So you've aimed high, right? You have a big goal. You have a plan that matches that. You go to your calendar and you time block. And
okay. So I'm going to play the part of every agent on the planet who's tried to time block. It's hard. Like, it feels like it shouldn't be hard to keep an appointment with yourself, but it's really hard. And you're really good at doing hard things. You got a model and system for breakfast. Like, help us on this one.
Yeah.
Like, why do so many people fail time blocking if it's such an easy thing to do?
They time block too much is the number one thing I see. They try to time block their entire day instead of first building the habit of keeping a time block.
Yeah. So if you think about it, in our industry, the morning is for lead gen, the afternoon is for service.
That's just true. That's an easy way to look at the day.
Yeah. That is the day. Yes, the question always gets into, how do you guarantee that you're going to do something until it becomes a habit, meaning that you could move it around. And that is, you pick a time of day and then you build in the necessary, back to Monica's statement, you find discipline, and that's either a partner or it's a time schedule. For me, Zoom has completely ruined my back. I've had a bad back since my late 30s. And Zoom has just wrecked it. I mean, I'm in pain.
Well, you changed out the chair, it looks like.
Well, I've been actually changing them out regularly, flipping and flopping, because my back kind of molds to the chair I was in, and I'm back in trouble. So I asked myself, what's the one thing I can do that would help my back the most? And it would be 10 minutes of yoga stretching. So then I asked the question, so what time of day would I do it such that would guarantee I get it done? And the answer was the second I get out of bed. So literally, my wife will tell you, the alarm goes off, I turn it off, and I sit up and I do my neck exercises, and then I drop to the floor right then in the dark, and I do my 10 minutes of yoga right there before I leave the side of the bed.
The dog doesn't jump on you right when you get on the ground and start licking?
The dog at 2:00 every morning, Millie wants out. So she's outside the bedroom and the door shut. And I've learned to shut the door firmly so the dog doesn't come in, because that's what she was doing. And she's messed me up. But
this idea that I can simply set up 2 time blocks, one for lead gen and one for everything else in the afternoon. I'm sure you've been saying it for years. I'm hearing it. It sounds very freeing, because I see realtors all the time, and they got 14 different colors on their calendar trying to time block everything. And that's
only one time. There's only one time block, and that is your lead gen. because if you do that, everything else is just, I don't like to be, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like straitjackets. So this idea that the whole day becomes, every day is a routine time block all day, no freaking way. So what I discovered early on is, as a professional who's in charge of generating his own leads, I discovered the only thing that I need to bring discipline to, Monica, until it's a habit, is lead gen. And then we get back to all the research that Jay and I did around the one thing, and that is, right, I play this game, and the game I play is, what's the one thing around goal setting that if I do that, everything's easier or unnecessary? It's set a lifetime goal. It's set the big goal, not the interim goal, right? If there's one thing around plans such that I do that, everything else easier or unnecessary, it's get a plan that matches that big goal. And then whatever I do this year is just on the way, right? And then I ask the question, so what's the one habit I have to have that if I have it, all other habits are easier or unnecessary? And it's time block. Anything that matters to you, you time block, right? Jay and Wendy, I mean, since I've known you, you've had date night.
Yeah, well, you helped introduce us to that. So there's like a couple of things. Like, we tried to do date nights on Friday and Saturday nights, but we couldn't control getting a babysitter. So for the last, I want to say 11 years, we've had date nights on Wednesday nights. So when you think about time blocking, you go to time that you can control. You go to time when you have willpower. That's often in the morning. That's why very first thing in the morning, you're doing your yoga, because there's nobody calling or texting you. You haven't even looked at your phone yet. So you just have this one thing between you and your next thing, and you have to almost trip over it. So controlling it early in the morning, those are all like really fabulous techniques for keeping that time block.
Yeah, I love what you just said, and it's really important. So the game that you just played was, now that I know I need to time block, what is the time of day that I can time block that is going to be the easiest for me to keep, such that by doing that, the rest is easier or unnecessary, and it's going to be early in the morning.
Yeah, there's another part to this too. What I've seen the most successful agents are, and I'm going to say a couple of things, is they get up early, they have a very precise morning routine that supports the time block. Yeah. So it's all the progression of getting to that time block is a natural conclusion to what they just did all morning.
Well, they find they have to, because if they're committed to the time block, that's an immovable. It's the one thing that's immovable, which means that they then have to construct a morning prior to that to get all the things that need to be done before they go to work done. So then that drives what time they get up in the morning, which drives what time they go to bed, which then drives how they plan the evening so that they can get to bed on time, so they get up on time, so they do all the things they need to do so they can keep their time block.
Yeah.
So the issue is the time block. What time of the morning am I going to commit professionally for a minimum of 4 days a week? Minimum 4, right? Love 5 would be the perfect, but minimum of 4 that I'm going to lead gen. That's it. That's the singular. So by the way, then there's a second thing that you time block for, and that is your goal setting and planning.
Yes.
So you have an annual meeting with yourself or your spouse or your partners, or maybe all of that, right? And you time block that's in your calendar, and you do that every year. And then once a month, you have a time block where you sit down and you review, how did things go?
I tell you, that was one of my ahas when I came to work at KWRI, because I had heard you talking about this idea, this one, like 1, 3, 5s and 4, and all of these ideas. And I was always thinking, yeah, I'm sure he really does all that. And then I got here and I'm like, not only do you do it, but every department at KWRI
everybody does them.
Goes through all this goal planning, and then we all share the 1, 3, 5s, and then everybody improves on it. And then everyone does a 4, 1, 1, and everyone turns it in every week. And like, all that is real. And I don't know if you're out there as surprised as I am by that, but you live that. This whole company here lives that.
Well, it's the only thing you need to actually live, my friend. And that is a big goal, a plan that matches, and then literally time blocking for lead gen. Now, I'm talking real estate agent language, and time blocking for lead gen. If you around achieving the ultimate number, right? That's it, guys. You can add all the other things you want. You can go through an entire list of all the habits you need, but I got to tell you, man, it's death by habits. Habits are something that you have to layer over your life, right? You see somebody, and I'll pick someone who's 50, 60 years old, and they've been at this since their 20s or 30s. We're gonna call them a disciplined person because the way that we internalize and view that is, wow, they want to do something and they have discipline to do it, but it's not accurate. When you see someone, yeah, Jay, go ahead and finish it.
Well, they've had selected disciplines. What they've done is they've built habits over time. They start maybe by, you know what, I'm going to develop the habit of getting up early. And once I'm starting getting up early, I'm going to develop the habit of eating a great breakfast and looking at my goals. And you just start layering it over time. And I think even at 66 days, which is the average, you could form 5 habits a year and really habit yourself to death. But you only need a handful of rituals that drive everything. And that's why you've focused in on the time blocking. That is kind of like the keystone that makes so much else work. And if you can nail that one, you can be kind of mediocre at the rest if you're showing up for those time blocks and getting it done.
Yeah, the biggest mistake you would make in life is believing that you need 30 or 40 or 10 or whatever habits to be a successful realtor. That's a mistake. You do not. But a lot of people love to get lost in complexity because they think that success is hard. And so they need to tell you all their goals, and they need to tell you all their plans, and they need to show you all their habits and all their structure. And honestly, those people that live like that, that's a personality flaw. That is not a superpower. They
have side effects for doing that in their life, right?
I'm being funny. What I'm saying is they do that because that's who they are, not because that is the recipe for massive success. They do that because they're wired to do that. And then they're successful and they go, well, that's the path to success. And you go, no, that was the path for you to succeed. But you need to understand something. You succeeded in spite of 99% of what you just did. Those 99% of that did not contribute to your success. What contributed to your success is you implemented a big plan to lead gen the right number. So you had the right number of leads that when you converted them to appointments and to contracts and to closings, you ended up with the number that you needed to get to. Everything else you did is just the way you like to do it, which is awesome. That's awesome. That's how you should lead your life. But that's not the secret. That's why when I see top agents hang out together and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm going, oh my gosh, quit asking. Why are you doing that? It's like you love to just chase the new, right? What book are you reading today? And what's the new thing that you're doing? And what's blah, blah, blah. And you're going, stop that. Success is boring. It's repetition that creates massive, big success. And like Jay and I wrote, you have to make peace with the boring. You have to make peace with that, the repetition, until you connect the dots to the outcome you get. And then you have great joy in the repetition because you've already connected the dots and you've already in your mind achieved the outcome that you know is going to come because of what you're doing, right?
I'll never forget. I was in your mastermind. I don't know how long, and you walked in and you drew a triangle on the board and you put the L's, and then someone said, when are we going to do the new stuff? And you said, the new stuff. We're going to build habits around the stuff that we know actually moves the needle. And it's this right here.
And when you're doing all those things, which nobody is, we'll talk about the other stuff.
My head exploded that day.
Yeah. Well, in Quantum Leap, I make an argument, and I think fairly successfully, that it's really only about 18 habits. That when you think about the keys to a big life, you may have 1 million little habits, but there's really only about 18 of what you would say really important habits. And like Jay just pointed out, if it took 66, I don't care. If it took 3 months, if it took 4 months, would it really matter? In literally less than 5 years, you could literally build all the habits you wanted. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, habits that you can build in those habits, right? Yeah.
You've got all the time in the world.
And Jay, you don't break your time blocks.
I think that's where, when you talk about where people go wrong, I think putting it on your calendar is half the battle. Living your calendar is the other half. And so one of the pro tips that I've kind of discovered from working here for a long time, it's a script. So if you ask me like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow, Jay, at 10 o'clock? Can we do this? I can just say script. Jason, I'm sorry, I've got another commitment at that time. Would you be available at maybe 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock? Because I'd be happy to do it. If you ever say, that's my working time, people are going to ask to go in that. But the moment you say I have a commitment, because all of their calendar appointments are with other people, they're assuming you're meeting with someone. So never say it's my time block. Say I have a commitment, I have a firm commitment at that time, and then offer them another. That's how we protect our time blocks.
I'll tell you this, it's been 2+ years that you've been telling me that, and I just now am hearing it for the first time. I too am going to start saying that, sir.
There is the power of saying no. You got to learn to say no.
Well, like we wrote about in the one thing, and that is you don't want to be a yes man, you want to be a no man. That's right. Well, because you're going to say no to everything else. And the way to have a really big life is to say no to 99% of the choices. Believe it or not. That's how you have a big life. And people immediately say, well, I want to do all these other things. You go, well, the fastest path to being able to do all those is to get this one. That's the fastest path. And it may not look like that, right? But it is.
This was an awesome lifeline. I tell you what, you look back over the year, the title of life, living your future, this is the key, man. This is great stuff.
It is. All right, you guys. Thanks.
All right, you guys. Have a phenomenal Wednesday. Thanks for sticking around to hear Gary's wisdom there. Learn something about time blocking, the effectiveness, the power of time blocking. Say no. Yeah. Would love to hear really quick before we wrap up. What did you take away from that? What were some of your ahas?
I like that he's
go ahead.
Always. I like that he said that that's actually a personality flaw to be that person that a lot of us almost think that we have to be, kind of like the obsessive compulsive, on all the time, overly maybe overly time blocked. And like he said, that's one of the biggest downfalls is to overdo it on the time blocking. And so it's like kind of drilling down to what's the one habit that you need to create? How do you set yourself up for success on that habit, and kind of going back until you can't go back anymore, and kind of starting at square one to say like, what's the very first thing, the tiniest little thing, kind of the atomic habit thing that would launch me into that successful habit. Yeah. And we always forget, we want to make it more complex than it is. And really we can make it super simple.
I have to totally agree with Brittany. I was going to say the very same thing. I've been guilty of overtime blocking, and then realizing that too many things interrupt those time blocks, right? And so I'm not successful at the end of the day because I had too many time blocks set up. So it was good to hear that we do that, right? And we shouldn't. Yeah.
I think it was awesome to hear the simplification, right? Mornings are for lead gen and afternoons are for everything else. Right? Like that was really simplistically awesome. And it's so obvious that I think we all miss it. Right? So mornings are for lead gen and afternoons are for everything else.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
For me, Jay, really getting it on your calendar is half the battle. The other half of the battle is protecting that time block, right? I already have a commitment at that time. does another time work? And I love the sound of that, right? I already have a commitment at that time. But they go into it really in the one thing, right? It's about protecting your time and building your bunker. And what does that look like, right? And protect that time by saying no. Right? Every time that you say yes to your time block, you have to say no to everything else, right? And your success is worth more than that fear of missing out, right? If it's really important, it will show back up on your calendar.
Right. And I think I was going to say too, that one of my favorite things that I've got it on my wall in my office at home. I need to move it to my office here too, or make a new one. But it's thinking along the lines of what do I need to say no to today in order to say yes to a successful business, or to say yes to my one thing or my big why.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever, way you can verbalize it to yourself that makes it stick, I guess.
Yeah.
When he said be a no man instead of a yes man, like I could spend the rest of my life, for me personally, working on that. And I just, like, I'm gonna have to spend some time and some focus on that, because that's not me. I'm a yes man 100%. So guess what we're talking about on Friday, Anna?
No, Ricky, we're not.
No, you have a commitment at that time. I know what's on the calendar that day.
Oh, goodness. You guys are awesome. It is 12 o'clock. Go grab some lunch. Have a powerful Wednesday. Use your time blocks wisely, right? Lead generation for your mornings, at least 4 days a week. And if you're lucky like Ismail, you earned a spot to come in and do it live with Brittany. We'll see you guys soon.